Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my topic, BV. And for those of you who didn't see part 1, just click right around here somewhere and go back and see it. In video 1, it talks about what it is, what are some signs and symptoms that you may have it, as well as what could be some potential causes of you getting this bacteria. This video is basically going to be talking about how I naturally cured myself. And as I stated in video 1, depending on your severity, depending on how long you've had it, it might work, it might not. But before I get into that, I want to tell you what my doctor gave me. My doctor gave me a gel called Gel, and he basically told me what I do is, it's a 5-day treatment, 2 times a day. You fill up this tube with some gel, you put it in your vagina, and basically you release the gels in there, and it's supposed to help with the symptoms and stop it from returning. So he said, but then he prescribed me medicine for the rest of the year, telling me that once I've had it, I'm always gonna have it. Well, after I cured myself, I haven't gotten it back, so great, doctor. Great for trying to prescribe me some wrong information again. And for those of you who didn't see my other video with the Beware of Doctors video, once again, click up here and go watch that video and be careful. Sometimes doctors tell you things that aren't always true. But besides that, so he basically told me to use that medication, and I did. The first day I used it was fine, but the second day I used it, I woke up, I noticed that there was cramping. I didn't feel so good in my bladder area. But anyways, I went to go use it, and I inserted the tube in me, and when I took it out, there was blood on it. And no, I wasn't on my period or anything, so we could just rule that out. And from that moment, I knew something was drastically wrong with what I'm taking. I did some research, and I basically found out that Gel, what it does is it pretty much kills your good bacteria and the bad bacteria in that area. So your body naturally has good and bad. They coexist together. They're happy. They love each other. And then for some reason, the bad bacteria starts to become higher in numbers, and then that's when you get BV. Now, the cure for that is just wipe them both out. Kill the good, kill the bad, just wipe them both out. Let's start over on a clean slate, which, you know, thinking of it would make sense, right? The bad and the good would come back together, they would grow together as if nothing ever happened. That would work in theory, but for us women in that area, there's always something going on. So whether we're making love, whether we go to the bathroom and, you know, there's some splashback, or, you know, we don't wipe the right way, childbirth, there's different things going on that can cause bad bacteria to get back in that area before the good bacteria does, therefore causing the infection to come right back where you have the bad bacteria overthrowing the good ones. So I realized that this medication wasn't going to help me, so I had to go on a search to find out what might help me. That's when I came up with what I did, and pretty much I knew that salt has healing properties. You know, I just decided I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to start with this. If it doesn't work, I already knew what my plan B would be. Plan A was I was going to fill a basin up with hot water. I'm not talking about warm or even hot. It was hot to the point where it was uncomfortable to sit in, but it didn't burn me. The reason why I wanted it that hot was because I was really trying to work with the fumes, with the steam, not actually the water. I was hoping that the salt in the water would go inside of me, soak up through my tissues, you know, just go in there, and it would heal me. You know, that's what I believed. So what I did was I filled up a basin. I'm going to show you, but I filled up a basin with hot water, not burning hot water, but hot water, uncomfortably hot, without hurting yourself or your area or whatever. And then what I did was I put some salt in there, enough salt so that the water was salty. You know, I'm going to show you the exact amounts in just a minute. And what I did was I sat in that, I put it on my bathroom floor, I put towels on the floor, I sat in the basin for 10 minutes, and then I dumped out that water, I rinsed it out, I cleaned, you know, I didn't wash it with soap or anything, but I just rinsed it out, filled it back up with hot water and salt again, and sat back in it for another 10 minutes. And that was in the morning. I repeated the same process at night. So after I put all my children to bed was another 20 minutes. Before they woke up, or even if they were awake eating breakfast, that was the first 20 minutes. And I did that. So I was pretty much soaking in salt water for 40 minutes a day. And pretty much I did that consistently for 4 days. And I think by day 5, I noticed it was gone. So I gave myself a whole day and I didn't do anything to see if maybe the itching or the smell would come back. Nothing came back. So I got paranoid and I just did it again for another day, like day 6. And then I said, okay, let me see if it's okay. So I just gave myself a week, never came back. Gave myself 2 weeks, didn't come back. Gave myself a month, didn't come back. It's been a year and I have not had a problem with it. Now that is what I did. Now I'm going to show you how I did it. PG version, of course, but hopefully it helps you out. So right here I have 7 cups of water in this basin. I don't know if you can see it. And pretty much what I would do is put in like a cup, like just fill up this whole measuring cup of salt, dump it in there, mix it around, and that is what I would be sitting in. Now make sure that the water is very hot, like uncomfortably hot. Like I don't think tap water hot is gonna do it unless your tap water is extremely hot. But what I would recommend is that you make it feel uncomfortable so all those fumes are getting all up in there. Alright guys, and just a quick tip is when you are doing your hot water, one thing that I really advise is that when you go to switch the water after 10 minutes, that you are speedy. Like I didn't want to spend more than a minute making the new saltwater mixture. So what you can do that might help you is, which I did, was I didn't do this, but I had my hot water still hot because I don't want to tell you what I did just in case you try and sue me and whatever, but like it was hot. And all I had to do was put some cool water in it to cool it down and then throw my salt in. But what you can do is you can preheat the temperature you want your water to and put it in like a thermos so that by the time you dump out your water, you rinse out the bowl, all you have to do is dump in that water. Maybe it already has your salt mixed in, but you want to get back sitting down as quickly as possible. But I don't advise warming it up in the microwave. Doing that can sometimes trick you. Like sometimes it feels like it's not hot and then you sit in it and then all of a sudden you have 3rd-degree burns. I mean, we don't want that. Now guys, that is it. That's BV. That's what it is, the signs and symptoms, the causes, what the doctors prescribed me, and how I treated myself. If you have any questions at all or, try it out, please email me back, good or bad, because maybe I can tell you what my plan B would have been. But like I said before, I really hope it helps. I sympathize with anybody going through it because it's not easy to have anything wrong with that area. Word of advice, go back and check the list, smoking, sexual partner, if you're engaging in any sort of sexual activity that might cause feces to get into that area, then just do your research. It could be fingers, it could be just mouth-to-mouth contact, just anything that could be causing any sort of bacteria to get into that area. Really dissect your life and don't try and overlook anything and be like, oh well, that's what I do on my spare time. That has nothing to do with this. Yes, everything is encompassed when it comes to any sort of infections or bacteria or diseases or anything like that. So please evaluate your life, see if you're doing some things that might be detrimental to that area, and I hope it helped. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye bye.